Okay, Rabotai, good morning. Boker Tov, Baruch Haba. You know, there is twice a year that we have a very severe parasha that we have to read before a big day. The Gemara in Masechet Megillah writes down that Ezra Tiken, Ezra Sofer, right? Chacham Ezra. Ezra Sofer Tiken, that we will read two parashiot. Our parashiot that are talking about curses, klalot. Before Rosh Hashanah, it's one of them. And the other one, Parashat Ki Tavo, correct? And the other one is before Atzeret, Shavuot. Which parasha? Bechukotai. In Parashat Bechukotai, we have how many kilalot? 49 kilalot. Like the days in between Pesach and Shavuot. The day on Parashat Ki Tavo, before Rosh Hashanah, how many do we have? Double. Chazak Baruch, 98. By the way, why double? The answer is very simple, because Parashat Devarim, that is Ki Tavo, Sefer Devarim, it's called Mishneh Torah. Mishneh is leshanen when you're repeating. When you repeat, at least you repeat twice, so you repeat 49, 2 times. Very good. And the reason the Gemara asks, I can understand before Rosh Hashanah, because of Tichle Shana Vekilelotea. We want the Kilalot to end up before the beginning of the new year. But why before Shavuot? That's the question of the Gemara in Masechet Megillah. Amen. Answers the Gemara, because Shavuot is also called Rosh Hashanah. What that means? On Shavuot, we're also being judged, Rabotai. But instead of being judged only about physical things, parnasah, health, etc., we're going to be judged about our spiritual type of life. What that means, I'm going to explain to you. You can see, and I believe that you know all these type of people, that they live and they have their life, and they have even money, and they have whatever they have, but they're not happy. Not only they're not happy, they don't feel any flavor in their life, right? They don't feel good of themselves. This is called in the spiritual life that they have, they were decreed on Shavuot that the type of life will be very sad life. Rabotai, on Shavuot is the day that we decide how it's going to look our life. Not in the physical way, but in the spiritual and emotional way. And I want to tell you a big chidush. The Rashash. You heard about this name, the Rashash. The Rashash HaKadosh. The Rashash was a huge mekubal. And he said that it's very interesting that the days of Sefirat HaOmer, those days that we have from today until Shavuot, a person can change and can get high levels, like he did it the whole entire year. In those 49 days or 50 days, a person is able to make a change in his life like he did it the whole entire year. And he explained why. He said in the Jewish calendar, how many days do we have in the year? 354. Hazak Baruch. 354. Correct? How many weeks is making 354 in the year? 50. We have extra 4 days, but a 4 days is not a whole week. We have 50 weeks per year. Correct? Say the Rashash, 50 weeks per year. It's keneged the 50 days of Sefirat HaOmer. And those days of Sefirat HaOmer, you can change something of the whole entire year. You can change any type of decree, say the Rashash, in those 49, 50 days until Shavuot. Rabotai, is a great opportunity for us to try to make the effort on those days, to make a change and to ask from Borei Olam to change our decree as well. But I want to tell you, Parashat Bechukotai, the pasuk starts, Im Bechukotai telechu, v'mitzvotai tishmeru v'asitem otam. What is Im Bechukotai telechu? Rashi writes down, if you will follow my path, my rules. Say Rashi, how do I follow the rules of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Shetiyu amelim b'Torah. I want you to be amal. What's amal? Amal is to do with effort. People are reading Torah, learning Torah, and I still remember in Yeshiva there was one guy that every time that he was opening the Gemara, it's like Bar Minan Mavdid, he was opening a newspaper. The guy was opening the Gemara, one leg on top of the other. How do they say? Putting yourself in the side, reclining. Well, they're learning Torah. Chilling, that's the word. Chilling, right? The Torah, you cannot acquire Torah if a person is not amal. If a person is not putting his effort. Vehagita bo yomam v'layla. Lehegot means to learn deep, to go inside. To do an effort. Without doing effort, you cannot achieve any level of Torah. So I heard a very interesting question. It says, why we gotta be so extreme and so serious? Kelalot before the big holidays. Yeah, and even if it's not something negative, you tell me for something positive, Habibi, you gotta work hard. Come on, relax a little. Give me easy. Give me the work in an easy way, to open up the book, relax, no pressure. Why do we have to be so tough? And the Torah is saying, Rabotai, look around us. The big Gedolim, Chacham Ovadia Yosef, his Torah was be'amal. He was learning Torah when he had nothing to eat. My father always tell me, my father was a ben bayit by Chacham Ovadia Yosef when he was a avrich. And he was learning by Chacham Yaakov Yosef, his son, the oldest son, Alav Shalom. And he was so connected to Chacham Yaakov that all the time he was inside the house of Chacham Ovadia. So he told me that Chacham Yaakov Yosef told my father once about how he grew in his house. Chacham Yaakov was the oldest one. And he said that when he was a bachur, right? Young boy, starting yeshiva, they didn't have enough food in the house. They were mamash poor. Not only poor, in winter it was freezing. And he said that the father, Chacham Ovadia, and his mother, both of them, they were saying to all the rest of the kids, each one have to give an extra piece of your food to Yaakov. Why? Because he learns Torah. And a kid that is learning Torah, you have to have more power. And he said that the mesirut nefesh that the parents had to send their child to learn Torah was above everything. This is called amal. And when a person is learning of Torah with amal, then he can see results. But the question is, why do we need amal? So I'm going to tell you, there is a book. It's called Michtav Me'Eliyahu. Did you hear about the book? Rabbi Eliyahu Dessler. And he have one of the chapters that he have in the book. It's called Kuntras Ha'ahava. He explained what is love. You love someone, you love your wife, you love your children. What that means to love. Today the concept of love that we have in the street is zero love. It's more desires, temptations. It's not called love. Right? All those pictures of having a couple so in love in between them. All these, the clique. Yeah, I was walking and I feel such a connection with the other person. This is not called love. This is called temptation. You have a desire for this person. It's not love. Rav Dessler explains what is love, and he says the following story. He said that when he was in Europe, before the war, he was able to escape before the whole thing started. Before the war, there was a family that a couple and one child, young couple. And somehow the couple was able to get a certain type of visa, and they were able to travel from Poland, I think it was, to London, just before the war. The only one that got stuck, lo aleinu, was the woman, wife, the mother. She got stuck and she wasn't able to travel to London. Said Rav Dessler that somehow, Siyata Dishmaya and miracles, these ladies survive concentration camps. The lady survived the whole entire war. After the war, she went to meet her husband and her child. The child was already older. After 4 years, 5 years, he grew up. And she said, everybody knew that usually, a child is more connected to his mother than to his father. Correct? In this case, happened exactly the opposite. In this case, the child was way more connected to the father than to the mother. Way more. And she tried, to connect again with the child. Impossible. So they went and they asked the rabbi, how could it be? The nature of the kid is to be connected to his mother. He said, of course, I have no question even. All those 4 years, 5 years of the war, you know what happened? The father became a mother. Why? Because the father was giving constantly. Constantly, giving from the beginning till the end. Rabotai, we can see, I remember in Israel, there was a lady, a girl, that when she got to the age of 20, they told her, one of her friends of the family, whatever, they told her, listen, I don't want to take you down, but you know that your parents are not your parents. Your parents, they adopt you. What are you talking about? Yeah, they adopt you. Now the parents were a little older, so he went to her father, and she asked him, Daddy, I heard that, and the dad was, well, he didn't want to tell her, and he said, no, who told you that, and can that be? She already felt that something was wrong, and she started to research, and she realized that yes, that she was took out from her parents. She was took out from her parents. She was given when she was baby to this family. Rabotai, what do you think? Years took her to find the parents and to connect again with the family. She said, with all what I did, I was never feeling such a connection to my real biological parents like I felt with my adopted parents. And it's normal. Because when you have someone that constantly is giving you, Rabotai, when you give, you connect. When you connect, you love. That's how the Michtav Eliyahu explains. So he says, that's exactly the reason, Rabotai, why on Torah you need amal, you need effort. Because only if you give from yourself for Borei Olam, you can love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're saying every single day, twice a day, Ve'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha. How do you love Borei Olam? I never saw him. Did you saw him? I never saw God. How you want me to love someone that I never met? The answer is, more you give, more you do amal in your learning, more you do effort in your mitzvot, more you control and you try to work on yourself for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're causing yourself a great amount of love in between you and Him. That's why, Rabotai, those days, that are the days of Sefirat HaOmer, preparation for Hag Matan Torah. Preparation to be able to reach all those high levels that every single year are coming back on the day of Matan Torah of Shavuot. We have only one thing to show. We have to show effort. And Rabotai, when I say effort, is in everything. Is in learning Torah, is in the mitzvot, Ben Adam Lamakom, and is in the mitzvot of Ben Adam El Havero as well. How many times, you have a problem of Shalom Bayit, and, much more comfort, to fight and not to talk in between each other. Much more, relax, without problems. I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone, and that's it. And unfortunately, those problems are coming every single time to every single house. There is a fight, and they decide not to talk. Why? Much more comfort for you. Rabotai, tiyu amelim b'Torah, it's not only in the learning. Tiyu amelim in whatever Borei Olam wants from you. What is HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanting from you at that moment? Break up your comfort zone, and do an effort. And guess what? At the moment that you will do an effort for your couple, not only you gaining love with HaKadosh Baruch Hu because you're doing whatever He's telling you to do, but automatically you're coming closer to your wife, to your couple as well. This is the concept of amal. So Rabotai, let's try Be'ezrat Hashem those days of Sefirat HaOmer to increase the concept of effort, to increase the concept of giving. And once we give, Borei Olam will give us as well. Baruch Adonai Le'olam.